What's in the cards for you this week, and what does the moon have to offer in ways of navigating your week with grace and ease? Welcome, welcome. I am so glad you're here. I am live with this weekly energy weather report. So as you hop on, say hello, let me know where you're watching from. And if you know where your moon is, so to speak, where was the moon when you were born? What zodiac sign was it in? Let me know. One of the reasons I love working with the moon. Hey, Julie, thanks for saying hi. One of the reasons I love working with the moon is that it informs us about our emotions on a day to day basis. The moon, we consider it a planet in astrology, even though it is a wonderful satellite. One of the things about it, oh, and it looks like it's not streaming. I'm getting little notices that I'm not live in other places. So let me just pause here for a moment. Hey there, Chrissy. Good to see you. Good morning. But as I'm trying to solve tech problems in the background, one thing that I do want to say is that the moon informs us on a daily basis as how to navigate our day. It informs us sometimes of our energy levels, of our emotional levels. It also helps us tap into our intuition. It really represents our feelings. What is our gut saying? What spidey senses are tuning in? What are our feelings popping up and revealing to us? And a lot of times feelings are discounted. I'm giggling because I'm all about the feelings. And that's what I love helping my students and clients do, is navigate the world of their emotions, because emotions are a reflection of what's going on a deeper level, which is essentially our intuition. Those little inklings and nudges and hunts that we get when we get those goosebumps, or the hair goes up on the back of our neck, or we just know we need to call someone or do something, but we can't explain why or how we know. We just know. And if that's ever happened to you, if you feel that you've had those nudges and hints and you've either acted on them and you're like, oh, thank God I did, or you've ignored them and you're like, oh, I can't believe it. Let me know in the comments below if you feel that you're tuned in to your intuition. Always love to connect with you. Okay, place your hand on your heart and take a deep breath. And as I just shuffle the cards, I'm going to ask that you tune in and you see what is most important that you need to know for all watching now and later. What's most important that you need to know for the week ahead? 7 of Wands. Breathe. Look at how strong she is in her core, in her solar plexus. That third chakra, that little golden ball of light, is really highlighted here, I find. She's in her protective bubble. I think of this as like our auric field. Oops. And I have my phone on because I'm expecting an adventure this morning. Story for another time. Good morning, Shannon. Glad you made it. But when we're in that protective bubble, what I see this as is practicing good energetic hygiene. And if you haven't yet gotten a copy of and I'm going to just pop it up on the screen, but if you haven't gotten a copy of my free download, it's a 2-minute, can't talk and type, 2-minute guided audio. It's a visualization, guided meditation, irenamiller.co/get calm. This brings you through a process where you can practice good energetic hygiene, and you can get to this point where you're confident in your energy, your beliefs. When everybody's poking at you, you see how all these wands poke at her? They all have their opinions or ideas. You know what you should do, you know what needs to be done. Go here, do that. What ends up happening is it wears us down. We second guess ourselves. We doubt ourselves. We question our own gifts and talents, and we give away our power. She's not giving away her power. She knows that she doesn't have to explain or justify herself, and she's good with that. And it's all good to say that and talk a big talk, but how do we actually do it? By practicing good energetic hygiene, which is what I call the root flesh fill. And that link on the screen, if you can see me here, I think on YouTube as I stream, it's more visible than other platforms, but irenamiller.co/get calm. And it helps you create this good energetic hygiene. Because this week, that's going to be one of the main themes. Make sure you are strong in the knowing of who you are. And my Mastering Intuition course, that's what I go into. It's one of the 4 pillars. know your energy field. Because for those of you watching, I'm most certain, I've got a strong inkling that you are most likely an empath and you are intuitive. You sense that there's more going on around you than can be touched, tasted, or seen with your own eyeballs. And as a result, that empathy, that intuitiveness can bring confusion when it's just coming in like a raw stream of data. We're picking up on other people's emotions and feelings and opinions, and we don't know how to create that protective, healthy, energetic auric field where we can realize, oh, this isn't my anger. This isn't my anxiety. Maybe a tiny bit of it, but not all of it when we're tapping into the collective consciousness. I can't tell you how many times my students and clients come back to me and they say, I woke up in the middle of the night worrying about such and such or so and so. And then I checked my phone and something happened. Like you're just tuning into the collective consciousness, picking up on larger worries and fears. It's good to be aware, but why waste your energy when it's not yours? Because we can't process energy for other people. They have to do their own work. We can be there to hold space, but not take on their worries, their emotions, their fears as if it were our own. And that's what this week is about. Know your energy. And this Get Calm, irinamiller.co// Get Calm is a great place to begin. It's really about getting grounded. Okay. Phew, tongue twister. So welcome. If we haven't met yet, by the way, my name's Irina Miller. I'm a spiritual life guide and astrologer, and it is my joy to help you navigate the world of emotions and intuition by paying attention to the moon. I have studied many different sacred practices and spiritual traditions, and it's my joy to create unique energy recipes for you in this moment. So if this is helpful to you, please do like, subscribe, share it with a friend. It helps get these sacred practices and techniques out to others. I do believe it's important to share that these messages will fall upon the right hearts and ears and minds. I was in a long weekend workshop for astrology, and it was so much fun diving into asteroids and the dwarf planets and learning more. And some conversation came up, and some of the people that I was working with are really focused on astrology, and they haven't done the spiritual studies that I've done. And it came up about some of these sacred practices and traditions that there's so much mystery and secret around them. Like, shh, I can't talk about it. It's a secret. We all love secrets. Okay, listen, I'm a Scorpio rising. It's great to have, play our cards close to our vest and keep some things personal. But this whole thing about keeping, gatekeeping really, these sacred practices and traditions, we need all the help we can get right now. Seriously. And we need more empathic, intuitive light workers in this world. And if we don't have the tools and practices to protect our energy field, to protect our energy levels, if we're drained, exhausted, resentful because we feel like doormats, everyone's taking advantage of us, we've been burned so badly, we're just going to shut down our hearts and go into curmudgeonliness. No way. Please share these sacred practices with your friends, with your loved ones, because they do make a difference. They help you stay open-hearted and grounded in this world, which is transformational. Because when we're open-hearted, we can experience love and grace with more ease. If we shut down, we close ourselves off to everything, including love and joy and just experiences of life coming together. It's one of these things where it really is a pulse, where we open ourselves to love and we say, okay, I'm going to let life in. The good, the bad, the ugly. I'm going to let it in. I'm going to taste it. I'm going to try it. You can think of that as the let in. I heard this great podcast with Jennifer Love Hewitt where she was talking about let in, let go, let be. And it very much mirrors a style of yoga that I've studied for years, which is open to grace. Let it in, let life in. Now, as life comes in, we need to practice what yogis call viveka or discernment. So life is coming in, all of this love, the good, the bad, the ugly. And then we're like, whoa, jarred asparagus, no, thank you. Roasted asparagus, yes. Some of you know my asparagus story. Growing up, I just detested asparagus. My mom loved it, but she got the jarred kind and it was slimy and And then I went to a girlfriend's house and she made asparagus. And I thought, oh God, I don't want to be rude, but how am I going to eat this? Asparagus is disgusting, I thought. And so I was being polite and I had a little bite and it was delicious. Now, if I had just closed off to asparagus because, ew, asparagus is bad and disgusting and slimy and gross and stringy, I would have missed out on this delightful world of the healthy and joyful experience of asparagus. Hello, Hannah, welcome. So I invite you, like sometimes we've tried something. Sometimes we have that certain person in our life. We're like, they're so, I just, breathe, ground. When you're grounded and you know your own energy field well enough and you've practiced good energetic hygiene, you can let life in with a lot more ease and trust. So we let life in, we let in, we open to grace. As life comes in, we practice discernment. So yes, roasted asparagus, no boiled or no jarred. I'm being silly here to make it lighthearted. That point is the let go, right? I'm letting go of boiled asparagus or jarred asparagus. I'm letting in roasted, or I'm letting go of trying to be in control. I'm drawing in that ability to develop the practices so I can respond with grace. So you've opened yourself up to love. You've let in. You've let go of what you can't control, and then you let be. That's the final one that Jennifer Love Hewitt shared. Let in, let go, let be. And the let be is that moment where you're simply in that state of awareness. You know you've done everything you can. And in yoga, we say swaha, S-W-A-H-A, which just means, okay, God, over to you in the sky. I've done everything I could. I let life in. I opened to love. I opened to grace. I opened my heart. I let go. I took the actions necessary. I practiced discernment. I was aware. I was grounded. I was present. And now I'm just being. And I realize that sometimes, all times, this is a co-creation with the divine, that we're not meant to do this alone. Okay, God, I've done all I can. I'm letting be. So let in, let go, let be. I really loved that. That was really pretty. So hopefully that's helpful to you on your journey today, because I do believe that the energy is shifting. Why? Well, from an astrological point of view, definitely because the nodes are shifting, which might not mean anything to you. The nodes are an imaginary point in the sky that correlate to the pathway of the moon. But what they signify is a north node signifies what is our spirit calling to us. We all have a representation for our own identity and individual selves in our charts. If you want to know where that is, I do offer readings one-on-one. You can look for the link around that in this video. But as a society, we're all moving towards an energy of really opening up to spiritual practices, to Pisces, to sensitivities, to our intuition. So we're being supported in that goal. So there's a shift. We had been in the Aries energy where it was a focus on you as the individual. Who am I? Where do I fit in the collective? Really getting to know yourself. Now we're going into this spiritual experience. So these sacred practices are more important than ever because more and more people are going to be aware of their intuitive gifts. And it's kind of like baby Jack in the Incredibles. If you don't have the skills and tools and these intuitive gifts start to really make themselves known to you, sometimes it can be scary. Like you might hear scary things at night or see shadows or shapes and you're like, oh my God, that's too much. But if you know the techniques to say, no, shop's closed. I'll talk with you at 8 a.m. tomorrow when I'm open for business. No talking to spirits in the middle of the night. I need my sleep. Let me know if you've ever had a conversation like that. Maybe it's just me. No, my students have too many of them. But again, we always bring this back to lightheartedness. Why? Because when we get too serious, we contract and we lose the suspension of disbelief. And when we're working with our intuition, when we're looking at the moon, it's important that we are in suspension of disbelief. We can exercise our imagination, because if we can't exercise our imagination, we can't dream it, we can't create it. So laughter, silliness, lightheartedness is a key piece. All right, with that being said, let's talk about the overarching energy of the week. What is the moon doing? The beautiful thing about knowing the phase of the moon is that it gives you kind of the way the energy is going to play out over the week. So for my moon sensitives, those who are aware of, just your energy's low, you're tired, might be a new moon, can't sleep at night, full moon, your emotions might go up and down throughout the week. You'd be considered a moon sensitive. And there's some other kind of boxes you can check to figure out if you are. But in the meantime, the phase of the moon can affect your emotions and your energy level. So when we look at the phase for the week, it gives us a heads up of, okay, I'm going to have more energy this week or less energy. Here's how I can utilize it to the highest and best for what I want to do without beating myself up. Like, why can't you do this? So with that being said, we are in a waxing phase. So we had our new moon last week and the moon is growing in light, which means momentum is building and your energy should be building to a certain degree. Now, as one caveat, we have a very long void of course moon today, Monday. If you're watching with me live, today is February 3rd, how to look at the date. And it started, this void of course moon, and I'll describe what it is in a second, at 5:19 a.m. Eastern, and it goes all the way until 10:34 p.m. Eastern. And I'll let you adjust for your time zone. But that's all day long, especially for the East Coast. Like you're just, while you're working, your awake hours, moon is void of course, which means the moon's not having a conversation with any other planets in the skies and heavens above. She's just kind of floating there, doing her thing. And the moon really relies on having those conversations. They're called aspects with other planets because it's what helps create the momentum and helps create the shift within you to take action on your emotions or your feelings. So when the moon is void of course, it's kind of like a retrograde. You're encouraged to not start anything new, not sign contracts, not try to get anything major done. If you have big important meetings today, you might find that you leave the meeting, more confused and upside down than when you started. You may not really feel like we didn't come to an answer. Nothing came of it. That's kind of the catchphrase for a moon void, of course. Nothing comes of it. It's a great day for reflection. It's a great day for kind of mulling things over, introspective reflection. Let me just kind of sit with this. So Monday, as we start the week, that moon void, of course, and I'll talk about what zodiac sign the moon is in to give you more information. But just know Monday, if you're trying to accomplish anything really big and new, get down to the answers, you might end up frustrated because it's not the best energy for that kind of action. It's more of the energy of let me sit with this on Monday. Let me kind of feel into this. Let me putter around the house. Maybe let me organize or clean things or just kind of get myself back in a place where I can be centered. Great day for meditating, for intuitive spiritual practices. But big action, you're going to feel frustrated if you're looking to accomplish something or come to a solid answer. So just take that into account. Tuesday it is. No, it is Wednesday, going by memory. Wednesday is the first quarter moon in Taurus. So first quarter moon is where we have to make decisions. New moons are where we plan an idea. And this cycle is repeated over and over and over. You can do, a big dream in tiny little chunks, just like you would being a project manager. You have your big project you're working on. You have tiny little goals along the way. So the new moon is, okay, I want to plant this idea, this seed. This is what I'm working towards. We've been working on it for about a weekish by the time you get to the first quarter moon. So you have some data, you have some insight, and you say, okay, well, now I've got to make some decisions. Do I keep going forward in this direction or do I switch and go in the other direction? So you're just feeling into it. Once you've made those decisions, those cuts, the moon continues to grow in light throughout the end of the week. So momentum is building. We're working towards the full moon, which happens next week. Keep building into your ideas and your projects this week. Okay, so with that being said, let's look at each day individually. Monday, we kick off the day with the moon in Aries. Now, when most of us wake up, that moon is going to be void of course, which means that Aries moon, she's not talking to any other planets. And if I look at my notes, the last thing that she spoke to before she went void of course was a square with Mars. And so Mars right now is in Cancer and the moon is in Aries. So they're kind of like hanging out at each other's houses, you could basically say. Mars is hanging out at the moon's house, the moon's hanging out at Mars's house, and they're a little frustrated because they kind of just want to be at home. They're not comfortable in either sign very well. Mars isn't really comfortable at Cancer's house because Mars like wants to just do something like, all right, let's just get out there and take action. We need to work on this project. Let's go on this adventure. Mars is spontaneous. It's like, let's do this now. Active, very confident. And Cancer is like, well, I don't know. I want to feel into it. Like, let's just sit on the couch for a while. Let's have some chocolate. Maybe we can watch a movie, put on some comfy clothes, and we'll get to it. I want to take my time. And Mars is like, oh my God, come on, let's go. And the moon's hanging out at Mars's house. And the moon wants to take her time when she wakes up. Maybe she wants to take a long shower. Maybe she wants to just feel really safe. And Mars is like, come on, let's wake up. We got to go. My dad always tells this story of being, in boot camp, and he was in the Army, and they'd come in and they'd wake you up with a trash can, an empty trash can, and they'd rattle kind of a stick around in it. You jump right out of bed. So Mars is like rattling the stick in the can. Come on, let's go, let's go. So you've got these two energies that have difficulty getting into the same rhythm. And so there's this little bit of strife. Maybe this feeling like, I just want to go. I just got to do it. An impulsivity, a spontaneity. But between the moon being void of course and Mars being at Cancer's house hanging out over there, what ends up happening is you might feel like, I'm stuck. I can't move forward. You might get frustrated, like, whoa, every time I try to do this, it falls apart or it's not coming together. Take a big step back. Monday's for meditating, for breathing, for feeling into it before you take the action, tuning into your intuition. So hopefully that makes sense. But how cool is that to know something like that? Because you could be beating yourself up like, oh my God, Monday was a wash. I had all these things on my to-do list that I wanted to get done, but nothing happened. Nothing came of it. And the astrologer goes, well, of course not. Nothing was supposed to come of it. And you're like, it helps us. It informs us so we can make conscious choices. And life isn't just happening to us. We're not reacting. We can respond. As a side note, me telling that little story about the, moon and Mars hanging out at each other's houses. When you know where your moon is and your loved one, especially a partner or a child, that's huge because the moon is the way we live on a daily basis. And if you have two incompatible moons trying to live together, meaning where was the moon when you were born, what zodiac sign? Let's say one person has a moon in Capricorn and one person has a moon in Cancer and they're living together. Life is going to be challenging because they're opposites. They're polar opposites. Capricorn says there's no crying in baseball. Brush it off, get up, get on with it, build a plan. Crying is not going to make anything better or help the situation. You need a plan. Cancer moon's going to say, I will cry if I want to. I want my chocolate. Pay attention to my feelings. My feelings are important. You're cold. You're mean. You're over emotional. Get over it. Like a puppet show, right? So if we know that about each other, what a huge difference the world can come to. We can communicate differently. We can know as a Cancer moon that our Capricorn friend or partner, we can say, okay, they could help me with a plan. They may not be able to get my feelings, but they could help me with a plan. And Capricorn moon could say, okay, I just need to let them cry. Maybe I'll give them a hug or I'll give them some space. And then before I start sharing my plan with them. So hopefully that makes sense. So Monday, give yourself a break. Take some time, enjoy the day with resting and reflection. You can still get things accomplished, like puttering around the house, organizing, things like that. But don't get upset, trying to get anything new done. Okay, let's pull a card for Monday, by the way. I get so excited talking about the moon. Just really want to, it's kind of cool noticing moon's void, of course. I think so, because of me being such a moon sensitive and those usually who are hanging out with me. Monday, what's most important that you need to know? Two of Wands. She's looking outside the window. I love it. How perfect. She's like, I need to make a decision. Something's got to give. Like, I got to go. I got to go. But she's stuck in the office. She can't go because Mars is trapped at Cancer's house. The moon is trapped at Mars's house. And she's got her dream. I want to travel. I want to see the world. I've got my VW bag or bug, VW van. Holy cannoli. The world is at her feet. The world is her oyster. She's got her sneakers on. She's ready to go, but she's stuck in the office. So we're making our decisions, right? That's that first quarter moon. So dream today, dream, daydream, think about it, kind of mold the decisions, the options, and the opportunities. Because Tuesday, that's really cool. Let's talk about Tuesday, moon and Taurus. First, I'm going to go ahead and pull a card. So what's most important that you need to know about Taurus moon? Ooh, I like this Page of Cups. Page of Cups is when the pigs fly card. It's a great card for imagination. He's not necessarily grounded in this card. You know, his head is in the clouds, but he's the daydreamer. He is the romantic. And the cool thing about this is that Venus is just getting ready to go into Aries. And this is a big deal. And Jupiter stations direct. So when I talk about waiting for the energy to shift, this is part of what helps you feel the energy shifting. Another reason why it's so important to be grounded this week. When we're grounded, we're less likely to get frustrated over those moments where we feel stuck, like on Monday, where we feel like I gotta go, but I can't go, but I want to go, but I can't go. Because Tuesday, Venus in Aries is like, I love. They're going to act quickly and impulsively on their love. Jupiter going direct all of a sudden is going forward and in that Gemini energy of curiosity, knowledge. I want to know more. I want to travel. I want to see the world. So Tuesday's energy is this balance between being grounded in solid earth and still being open to the beauty, love, and luxuries of life. The moon in Taurus is about stability. It's slow and steady wins the race. So it kind of almost reminds me of this wind-up toy. Like Monday, we're being wound up, or the rubber band's being pulled back. Be mindful that Tuesday, it's not just this, okay, like the gate's open and we need to rush right out. Taurus moon is saying slow and steady. Remember what you love, what brings you joy. Focus on that, because if we just get lost with head on the clouds and if we just shoot like we run right out of that open gate, what ends up happening is that we lose ourselves in time. And I am going to see, I may have to pause this. I'm so sorry. Okay, hold on 1 second. Talk amongst yourselves. Just as a side note, I'm getting a shed today. And I was trying to coordinate the time when the shed was coming and when I was going live with you guys. And I think it's here. Holy cannoli. So this is real life action. I'm so sorry. Give me like 1 second. I will be right here. Okay. Thank you guys so much for waiting. This is how you know that we're really friends. This is real life in action. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited to be getting a shed. This is wonderful. It's been a long time coming. I'll have to share. Yeah, real life. Thank you, Chrissy. Thank you, Shannon. Oh my God, it's like so embarrassing. What I've learned is over the years, I've tried to be so professional that, yeah, Julie, I've let things go by the wayside. I'll have to tell you this at another time. But this is learning in action, life in action. Thanks for sticking with me. You guys are amazing. Okay, so let's continue talking about this week. Maybe I can cut it out for the replay. Okay, so Wednesday, moving into Wednesday's energy, first quarter moon. It's a first quarter moon in Taurus. I'm going to just ask what's most important that you need to know. 9 of Wands. You've got this. You might be exhausted and tired, but you've got this. And with that first quarter moon, what I love about this is the first quarter moon is the decision-making point. So this is saying, what do you have on your plate? You've got too much on your plate. If you put down one of the projects and just say, I'm going to park it, I'll get back to it later, or I'll delegate, you can get to this. You can make it happen. You'll get to that finish line and not be as exhausted. So Wednesday, you're really being encouraged. What can I release and let go of so that I can get to the finish line and not feel so depleted? Because you can. You're just trying to do too many things at once. Gosh, do I know that so well? And Taurus is about what we value. So that moon in Taurus is saying, tune into what you really value, what's most important to you. And that'll make all the difference. Okay. So with that being said, moon in Gemini, what's most important that you need to know about the moon in Gemini? 10 of Pentacles. So this is the fat cat card. This is a card of blessings, of prosperity, and abundance. There's an old saying, curiosity killed the cat, satisfaction brought it back. My Uncle Pat used to always say that. So I would encourage you, ask questions. Gemini mind is fast. Gemini moon, our emotions might be coming up quickly. So ask the questions, be curious, investigate, because the riches and the rewards are in the details. And that Gemini energy, they know how to find the information. They know the right questions to ask. They make great investigative reporters. I'm going to say it that way. Okay, so Friday, moon is still in Gemini. What's most important that you need to know? Hangman. So seeing things differently. This is going to, sometimes it means a sacrifice, but it can also mean that we might feel stuck. Something bigger is going on that you don't have the full picture for. So rather than get upset and frustrated, like, why isn't it manifesting? Why haven't I heard back? Why isn't it happening? Give yourself a moment to say, something bigger is going on. The universe is helping me so that everything gets lined up so I can be at the right place at the right time. It's about timing, divine timing. If we're too early, then we miss the opportunity. If we're too late, we miss it as well. So do your practice. All is coming. And just take a different perspective. Like if something falls through, you might be like, okay, well, that's because the universe, God universe, is making way for something even better to come into my world. Okay, Saturday, moon is in Cancer. Get out your chocolates. I'm going to say kick off Valentine's Day early. Lots of self-love. I have, anyway, everybody has a different viewpoint on Valentine's Day. And I'll have to tell my Valentine's story at one point. But just really, yeah, I won't get into it now. But buy yourself chocolates, buy yourself flowers, and enjoy yourself on Saturday and Sunday. Moon is in Cancer. Do your feelings. High Priestess, highly intuitive, psychic time. That moon in Cancer is very, very intuitive, very empathic. So taking time maybe to be near water and taking a bath or a shower, or if you have a body of water nearby you, going to visit it. The High Priestess card is saying, do the practices that allow you to tune into your intuition, your inner knowing, your gut feeling, your gut hunches. And if I were to ask, well, what could that be? I would say follow your feelings on Saturday. And if it's a feeling of anxiety or worry, this is a sacred practice I give to my students in the Mastering Intuition program. See a circle in front of you, kind of like a speedometer that goes from 0 to 100. And ask yourself, once you're grounded, you root, flush, fill, you see that circle and you say, how much of this feeling is mine? How much of this anxiety is mine? And you might say, oh, only 3%. Wow. Or only 30% or 70%, whatever it is. Okay, great. The other percentage, you're going to say, okay, angels, please take that and bring it to the appropriate place. I'm going to release that out of my system and I'm going to fill back up with that beautiful golden light. So whatever I released, I'm filling up with golden light. So recognize what's your emotion, your feelings, and what are others, and then follow your feelings. I'm going to say do your feelings. And hopefully that makes sense. But what I mean by do your feelings is if you're feeling anxious, do that little exercise. How much of this anxiety is mine? And then give your mind something to focus on. If you're feeling sad, ask yourself how much of this sadness is mine. And then once you acknowledge the amount of sadness that's yours, I'm going to encourage you, go to the water, take a shower, take a bath, or wash your hands and say, okay, I'm going to just release and bring healing to this sadness in my space. Maybe it's a sweet treat that helps in that case. But little practices like that, it can go a long way. Okay, Moon is still in Cancer on Sunday, and what's most important that you need to know. Woo, one's jumping out. Laughter, the Hierophant or Hierophant, depending on how you like to say it, tomato. I love this version of the Hierophant because it's saying there's many different pathways to the divine, to source, God, universe. Follow the traditions and rules and structures that enhance your faith, because when we are strong and rooted in our faith, we have hope. So where are you placing your faith? Are you placing your faith in people? Are you placing your faith in, food, in shopping? And I'm getting a little cheeky right now because we don't always necessarily, I'm not placing, my faith in food, but we might feel like, well, when I feel a certain way physically or look a certain way physically, then I know, and then I'll be confident or successful. Well, that would be placing our faith in the food, or maybe in our self-discipline or willpower. Where are we placing our faith? And I'm going to really encourage you, anchor into your faith. And I'll share this little prayer again that I share with my Mastering Intuition students, which is, may God go before me and show me the way. May angels watch and protect me throughout the day. So you are acknowledging that you have free will and that you're not alone. You have friends in high places. Call on those friends in high places and allow yourself to enjoy the synchronicities and the joys that come from those moments where you have confirmation that you're not alone, that you have your angels with you. All right. Much love to you. And hey, by the way, if you've been enjoying this too, check it out. The Moon Club, irenamiller.co/club, if I can spell it correctly, because we go deeper into the moon. We have new moon rituals, full moon rituals. We're going to get that moon mapping up and running again, how to plan for the month ahead, sacred geometry. Like, I didn't even get into my moon journal, which is what we use in there. And then we're starting a new month, new sacred geometric shape. Holy cannoli. I've got papers in here. We really, you're my friend because you are seeing behind the scenes craziness today with me. Thank you, friends, for being here and for your patience with me. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll catch you all on the flip side. Mwah. Much love. Bye, guys.